In this video, I'm very excited to talk about some very aggressive and grippy flat pedals from Deity. These are the Deity SUPERVILLAIN pedals, and they are one of the most aggressive downhill and enduro style flat pedals on the market. For the past few years, I've been using the CRANKBROTHERS Stamp 7 pedals, but due to some reliability issues and my search for a little more grip, I decided to try out the SUPERVILLAINs. So we're going to dive into the specs for these pedals, as well as how they compare to the CRANKBROTHERS Stamp 7s and the well-loved Deity TMACs that have been around for many years. Thanks for watching, and here we go. Alright friends, so we've got the new pedals installed. I'm very excited to try these out. I mean, just looking at them, we can see how they have like a very square, big platform. Let's go on a ride, try them out. Here we go. So while I'm chit-chatting about these pedals, I'm going to show some riding footage from my first ride on them. This trail that I'm riding is up Providence Canyon in Providence, Utah. This is a fun trail in northern Utah that me and my brother-in-law did a quick lap on while I was visiting Utah for the 4th of July. The Deity SUPERVILLAIN pedals come in at around $179 US, putting them firmly in the premium pedal category. That's a steep price, but for many riders, especially those who are shredding downhill and enduro trails, the performance and durability does justify the cost. Some cool rock things here I want to try out. Yeah, that's not too bad. Sweet. So let's talk about the specs of these pedals. They weigh in at 420 grams per pair, which is pretty average for the category. The platform dimensions are 113 millimeters by 105 millimeters, which is large enough to support aggressive riding with a concave shape that locks your foot in. The shape of the pedal is very square or rectangular. On Deity's website, they describe this as the most locked-in feeling pedal in the world. Each pedal is CNC machined from 6061 T6 aluminum with 14 pins per side. They come in several different colors. They measure 11 millimeters at the thinnest point and offer good ground clearance without sacrificing strength. These pedals use Deity's double micro-sealed bearing system and also include a DU bushing to keep them running smooth longer. They are serviceable, and Deity backs the SUPERVILLAIN pedals with a limited lifetime warranty. So they stand behind their construction and they're known for great customer service. I've ridden this trail before, but it's been a couple years, so it feels like I'm riding it blind. This pedal is really designed for aggressive riders who want a very grippy flat pedal designed to be supportive and keep your foot locked in place, or at least locked in place the best you can for a flat pedal. Woo! Cool jump through the trees. Now, if you're already using the Deity TMAC pedals, you're probably wondering, is the SUPERVILLAIN worth the purchase? So here's the deal. The Deity TMAC pedals, released in 2015, are well loved. They've been around for a long time, they're tested, they're proven. The SUPERVILLAIN was just released in 2024. The TMACs are a little bit heavier. Both of these pedals have a very similar big platform. Grip-wise, I feel like the SUPERVILLAIN has an edge. Don't get me wrong, the TMACs are ridiculously grippy, but the SUPERVILLAINs seem to hug my shoe a little bit better, and I feel like my midfoot sinks in a little more, so there was less readjusting of my foot needed on technical trails. So honestly, if you love your TMACs, then just stick with your TMACs. The pedals do feel quite similar, but if you want to shed a few more grams of weight and get what Deity claims to be their most locked-in pedal, then you won't be disappointed with the SUPERVILLAIN. Alright, I got a really techie rocky section coming up here, and it's tight, and it's a spot where a lot of people scratch their pedals or their bottom brackets. So we're gonna see, am I gonna get some pedal scrapes, and how easy it is to maneuver through like a tight techie section. Woo! That was gnarly. I don't think I scraped my pedals. Ooh.
Nice. Yeah, no slipping of the feet on that. I think those techie climbs where you're getting bumped all over the place is a good test of some pedals.
Now let's compare the Supervillains to my previous pedals, the CRANKBROTHERS Stamp 7s. The Stamp 7 has a similar large platform, but it's a little less square shaped, it's more tapered, so this leads to less rock strikes in my experience. The Stamp 7 is much easier to twist and readjust your foot if needed, where the Supervillain is more of a locked-in feel, so you kind of have to lift and twist your foot to reposition it. The Stamp 7s are slightly lighter at 375 grams compared to the Supervillain's 420 grams. Durability-wise, both pedals hold up well and are from proven companies with good customer service and warranties, but like I mentioned, I've been using the Stamp 7s for the past couple years on a couple different bikes, and I'm not sure if I've just had a bad batch of pedals, but I've had to service my Stamp 7s at least once a year to avoid noises. However, when I had my Deity TMACs probably 5 or 6 years ago, I think I went 3 or 4 years without touching them or servicing them at all, without any creaks or issues. So in my experience, the durability is a bit better on Deity pedals, but you'll have to let me know your experiences in the comments below. I feel like the Stamp 7 can be great for almost any type of riding, where the grip of the Supervillains is so aggressive that it might be a bit much for some riders and some riding styles. So who are these pedals for? These pedals are made for riders who push hard. Think downhill racers, bike park riders, and aggressive enduro and trail riders. I do think they're a bit overkill for casual trail riding or cross country, but regardless of what kind of riding you do, if you want the most amount of grip possible from a flat pedal and premium construction from a well-respected company, then these pedals deliver. If you've been disappointed by pedals that feel vague or sketchy in fast, rough terrain, then the Supervillains might be your answer. So we'll have to stay tuned in the upcoming months to see how I really like these pedals in the long term, but for now I'm really liking them. If you've ridden these pedals or have questions, drop a comment below.
Whew. Good ride. Man, I think that was actually a great trail to test out these new pedals, because there were some jumps, tons of rocks, a few roots, technical sections, so just kind of gives me a feel of how these pedals are going to work. Well friends, that about wraps it up for the first session on the new Deity Supervillain pedals. After a first ride, I'm impressed. I like them a lot. Because I prioritize descending, I think this is a good choice for me and the type of riding that I like to do. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.